Right now, a fire overnight in Mount Horeb has one man injured. We have the latest details.
And family and friends honor a boy who's still missing after swimming in the Wisconsin River as crews continue to search for him.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on a Monday morning. It is June 24th, the first official week of summer. And here's the debate. Okay. Have you heard of double snowman before? Is that like a thing that you haven't heard of that either?
I've never heard of that, no.
So you were showing an 88 in the extended day.
On Saturday.
Yes, and I was saying double snowman and both.
And he gave us a heart attack. Snowman in the forecast.
I thought I had something wrong. I was like, oh gosh, Josh, I need to go back and look at this.
I just have a word for everything.
Yeah, so. I guess every snowman I made had 3 snowballs in it. So.
Oh, that's true, Josh. What kind of snowmen are you making? Hopefully none this week.
Those Minnesota snowmen are a little shorter, I guess.
Maybe a little shorter. I don't know. But yeah, I was saying that I saw some video from Colorado and they had snow, like in Loveland, Colorado. Granted,
yeah, that's high up.
Higher up, but still, it's June.
Yes, the snowpack is lasting very long in parts of the Rocky Mountains, which is good because it was a high snowpack. So the melting rather slowly is actually a good thing for them. No snow in our forecast. In fact, I have the farthest thing from that. We finally feel like summer here across southern Wisconsin. Humidity levels increased definitely yesterday. I'm sure you noticed that. Still high this morning. A live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. We have mostly cloudy skies here at the station right now. Temperatures are actually up a few degrees. We're at 68, 66 in Janesville, 64 in the Dells. Dew points, unfortunately, up as well from 63 to 65 here in Madison. Dew points in the mid-60s feels pretty sticky, and that's exactly what it feels like this morning. Temperatures won't be quite as warm as they were yesterday. Look for some showers and thunderstorms to develop mid-morning and continue into the afternoon and evening. So while we're starting out with relatively dry conditions this morning, we will have some rain activity later today. Here's a look at your traffic maps this morning. Starting to see the usual crowd show up at Stoughton Road and the Beltline, so it is getting a little busier there, but no accidents or major slowdowns to tell you about in and around Dane County. So travel's still looking good right now.
I would imagine this heat and humidity will be good for farmers because usually this is the time of the year we start to see the corn start to come.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure if they need any more rain right now, but unfortunately that's in the forecast too.
Oh yeah. All right, a little bit of everything, Hattie. Thank you. No snow though.
No snow in the forecast.
Fingers crossed. All right, new information now. A man is in the hospital this morning after a fire in Mount Horeb overnight. Just before 9:30 p.m., a shed caught fire at the Perry Lutheran Church in town. A man in his 50s who lives nearby went to go check out the fire and suffered significant burns as a result, though he is expected to be okay. We're told the cemetery's utility shed is a total loss. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Crews are still searching for the body of an 11-year-old boy who went missing nearly a week ago on the Wisconsin River. However, the Adams County Sheriff says the diving operations are being suspended. Over the weekend, family and friends of Jamison Owen D. Miller held a vigil near the Chapel Gorge Trail along the river. Miller was reported missing around 6 Tuesday evening near the Wisconsin DNR Natural Area. He was swimming with his family when he went underwater and never resurfaced.
We have a first alert traffic note near the campus area for your Monday. Starting today, the westbound stretch of West Dayton Street between South Park and the East Campus Mall will be closed for utility work. That's the block of Dayton between Park Street and the Kohl Center, for those who are familiar. That closure is expected to take right around 6 weeks.
A new pilot program by the State Patrol is hoping to cut down on an increase in crashes that we see during the summer months. Sauk County has had more than a dozen deadly crashes every summer over the past 3 years, more than 400 of those resulting in injuries. Now State Patrol is using data to bring those numbers down. Over the summer, 4 troopers will be assigned specific areas in Sauk County pinpointed as having the most crashes. That includes Highway 12 and I-94 by Lake Delton, the village of West Baraboo, and the city of Reedsburg.
And by analyzing the crash data from Sauk County the last 3 years, we can focus on the 3 cities of the high amount of crashes, what we call the hot spots, so we can focus our patrols in those areas and make our biggest impact.
According to State Patrol, 2 of the biggest contributing factors in Sauk County crashes are distracted driving and speeding. The pilot program will start just in Sauk and could expand to other areas in the state.
The man convicted in a high-speed crash that killed a man walking his dog should be back in court today. 20-year-old Benjamin Cortez was sentenced to 7 years in prison in January after he pled guilty to charges of second-degree reckless homicide, among other counts. He was driving more than 100 miles an hour down Midvale Boulevard last year when he lost control of his car, killing Greg Nemitz and severely injuring his wife, Patty. That restitution hearing is set for 3 this afternoon.
Multiple people are recovering in the hospital after a major crash in Middleton. Just after 3 p.m., police say a car crossed the center line on Century Avenue and Amherst Road, causing a 3-vehicle crash. We're still waiting to hear back from officials with more information about this crash and the status of those involved.
We will not be seeing mass ICE raids in our area, at least not for the next couple of weeks. President Trump delayed a nationwide immigration sweep that would deport people living in the U.S. illegally, giving lawmakers 2 weeks to work out a solution. The deportation raids would target more than 2,000 people who haven't kept up with court hearings, focusing on people with final orders of removal. Here in Madison, the UW police chief says her department will not assist ICE in any way.
And Madison City Council and mayors say they stand by the immigrant community. Only News 3 Now's Keely Arthur is live with Madison's police chief this morning, who's reacting to this news. Keely.
Good morning. While Madison is not one of the 10 cities listed in these potential ICE raids, local leaders are certainly trying to prepare themselves. I have here with me Madison's Chief of Police, Mike Koval, to speak about this. Good morning, Chief. And where does the MPD stand in all of this?
Good morning, Keely. Well, we obviously want to make sure our community is at least put on notice when an operation of this scale and this order and magnitude might be imminent. So although we're not in that first clearinghouse of those identified major urban markets, I would remind people that we had little or no notice as of last September, when that was supposed to be a nationwide initiative that also trickled back to Madison, and it really left a sense of alarm throughout the community.
Right. So last September, 83 arrests made in the state, 20 in Dane County. What was your experience during that time?
Well, it's disappointing to me because we had established a number of years ago when I became chief that I would get some sort of a heads up 12 to 24 hours in advance of that. There was no such notice in this instance, and it wasn't because we were going to wreak havoc on their operations, but we do need to brace the community when this sort of operation is being staged and to let people know what this is about and what this isn't about. I think everybody could agree that taking serious criminal offenders out of the community is to everyone's advantage. But then a lot of folks who are undocumented, who face perhaps just civil sanctions, they also then their lives are turned inside out and upside down.
So is that what you saw happening last fall? I mean, I think it's important to draw the distinction between civil deportation and getting rid of known criminals.
Yes, and we've always assisted with the serial criminal offenders that have significant charges. I think everybody can agree on that. There's consensus on that. But when you take a federal program that at this point has been unarticulated for over a decade and more, it's difficult to have people lead their lives, contribute to the vibrancy of our community, not knowing when they might be tapped on the shoulder or pulled over on a traffic stop and then have their whole family disrupted.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for getting up early with us, Chief Koval. We appreciate your time. Sure. And we spoke with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on this topic. They say they support their decision to leave local law enforcement in the dark, writing in a statement, quote, "Any leak telegraphing sensitive law enforcement operations is egregious and puts our officers' safety in danger." And again, Madison is not one of the 10 cities named in these potential ICE raids, but you heard it from the chief. You never know if Madison could become one of those cities. We'll certainly bring you updates on News 3 Now as they come. Back to you.
All right, Keely Arthur with that exclusive interview this morning. Thank you, Keely.
New this morning, Iran's naval chief is warning the U.S., saying Tehran is capable of shooting down other American spy drones. This comes after Iran shot down a U.S. drone last week and as tensions continue to rise between the two countries. President Trump announced Sunday that a new set of sanctions would be imposed on Iran as soon as today.
Back in Madison, advocates are on their second day of marching 60 miles for 60%. The group is marching from Palmyra in Jefferson County all the way to the Capitol. This comes after the Joint Finance Committee cut Governor Evers' education budget last week for the next school year by $900 million. The advocates are marching 60 miles to demand a 60% reimbursement of special education costs.
I don't know if I can force them to do the right thing, but I can't also stand by and watch them do the wrong thing, and stand silent.
Governor Evers' budget would give $600 million more to special education, $58 million to mental health services, and $40 million to bilingual programs. The Assembly will vote on the budget this Tuesday. The Senate will follow suit on Thursday. Those marchers plan to arrive at the Capitol by tomorrow.
Madison's Board of Education is set to meet tonight for the first time since agreeing to a new contract for school resource officers. It could be a contentious meeting. A group called the Freedom Youth Squad says they plan to show up to the meeting to protest that decision. They say they'd rather see the district invest in students of color instead of investing in officers. It's also the first meeting since an ethics complaint was filed against Board President Gloria Reyes, stemming from that vote. Tonight's meeting starts at 6 at Wright Middle School.
All right, 6:10 your time now. Coming up in our trending segment this morning, we are sharing some video you do not want to miss of a turtle getting his groove back. It's adorable, it's a shell on wheels, and it's a head.
I'm looking forward to that. And Hattie is taking a look at this first official week of summer, and it's going to be feeling a lot like it. This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Pretty cloudy outside this morning, but a very mild and muggy start to the day. Temperatures in the 60s, dew points right there as well. Let's take a look at your high temperature trend through the week, right into the upcoming weekend. It's the first full week of summer, and right on cue, Mother Nature brings 80s back into the area and humidity. Now today will be in the 70s, but after that, we're headed into the low to mid 80s, even upper 80s by the time we hit Saturday. Normal high is in the low 80s this time of the year. On Doppler track this morning, A few showers, light showers right now, but they are popping up in far southern Wisconsin across parts of Rock and Greene counties. Expect this activity to continue as we go through the mornings. These showers will just become more numerous and then turn into scattered thunderstorms as we head towards the afternoon. Doppler track indicating that we're in between two larger areas of precipitation this morning, but again, with a storm system tracking right across the region, I do expect that rain to fill in for parts of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. As far as severe weather is concerned, there is a slight risk for severe weather. It will be during the peak heating hours this afternoon and early evening. That slight risk does include south central and southeastern Wisconsin and areas south of Madison. Now, here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. I mentioned it's cloudy this morning. We definitely have a lot of clouds in the area early today. Fog is not an issue for most of our region, but it is as you head towards the east. Visibility down to 0 in Sheboygan, just a quarter of a mile in Manitowoc, and down now to a mile in Waukesha. So there is some fog moving out from the lake out into those lakeshore counties. Our temperatures early today are in the mid to upper 60s across southern Wisconsin. Dew points are pretty high as well, so it is muggy. Dew points are not expected to drop much until later on today. Once a cold front moves through with that rain, we will see those dew points begin to drop heading into tonight. Your future track forecast model, though, does bring some showers into the area, especially by 10 o'clock. We're starting to see more rain activity for the region. Those scattered showers will turn into scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Any of the stronger storms would have the potential to produce some large hail or some strong winds. Heavy rain is also possible. The showers and thunderstorms continue through the evening but diminish overnight. Here's a look at your rain potential. Could be higher in some spots, more than ½ an inch in probably a short amount of time with any of those stronger thunderstorms. Your extended forecast then has temperatures well into the 80s as we head through the week. Kind of an unsettled week as well. We'll get a little bit of a break in the humidity on Tuesday and Wednesday, but then the humidity returns, as do the chances for rain for the end of the week. Now it's time to get a look at those first alert traffic maps. We'll send it over to Josh Tim for all the details. Good morning, Josh. And Josh is not here this morning, so I'll take over the traffic duties. We're looking at just a few delays starting to pop up on Stoughton Road and the Beltline. Looking a little slow on Verona Road as you approach the Beltline as well. No other accidents, though, in and around Dane County, so that is good. Looking at the downtown area this morning, travel still good on all those major routes. A little too early for high volume delays. Your travel times, again, a little slower northbound on Verona Road as you approach the Beltline. Just adding a couple of extra minutes right now. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you very much, Hattie.
Yes.
Oh boy, the song is now stuck in everyone's head. Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus's performance of Old Town Road at the BET Awards had Twitter abuzz last night. Other big moments included a tribute to the late Nipsey Hussle, Mary J. Blige being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, and Cardi B taking home the biggest award of the night, Album of the Year. Josh, take it away.
I got my horse in the back. Moving on here, a turtle is rolling in style. Check this out. He's got a prosthetic leg that can help him get around. Pedro was already missing a hind leg when he disappeared a few months ago, and when he reappeared, his other hind leg was gone. So his owner went to look for help from Louisiana State University. After an hour-long procedure, Pedro had a new set of wheels that could roll wherever he wants, whenever he wants, all thanks to a Lego car kit that's now attached to his shell.
There are not many things that are cuter than this video. Seeing a turtle roll around.
I love that, just like the freedom to move again.
Oh, buddy, we are glad for you. All right, 6:18 your time now. Student loan debt may be about to feel the burn. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is announcing his plan to eliminate student debt for millions. We'll tell you how he plans to do it coming up.
And summer is just starting to heat up out there. Hattie is tracking some humid conditions along with more rain on this Monday. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 6:22 on a Monday morning, and I'm guessing this is going to be a common occurrence all week long for you at home too. A lot of heat and humidity on the way.
Yeah, we're getting to temperatures in the 80s. That's not polar bear weather. So
We'll be in the pool all week.
we'll probably see the polar bears just living in the pool this week. But it is starting to finally feel like summer around here. I know you noticed it as soon as you wake up this morning, rather yesterday. Temperatures climbed into the 80s, dew points in the 60s. This morning, we have temperatures in the 60s across southern Wisconsin and even into the Northwoods. It's not that much cooler as you head north. 66 in Green Bay, Rhinelander, 65 in Eau Claire. Dew points are in the 60s for most of the Badger State as well. Some encouraging news, though, off to the north and west. Dew points do drop into the 50s across Minnesota and back into the Dakotas. So that's good news. Once this storm system moves through today, it will bring some rain, but behind it, some drier air for at least a couple of days. Now, here's a look at the radar map, zoomed out a little bit so you can see southern Wisconsin. Just some widely scattered shower activity starting to pop up through central Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and the far southern part of the state. You can also see some showers developing across Iowa this morning. So expect these showers to begin to fill in over the next couple of hours. So definitely bring that rain gear today. If you have to be outside, if you're walking anywhere later today, there will be better chances for rain, especially after the lunch hour, right through the afternoon into the evening. Now, temperatures aren't going to be quite as warm, but it will still be muggy through most of the day. So we're starting in the 60s this morning, back to around 70 in all locations by lunchtime. The high today, 74 here in Madison. And that's your First Alert forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. 6:24 your time now. Gas prices are 11 cents lower than they were about 2 weeks ago. The average price across the country is now at $2.73 a gallon, and even lower here in Wisconsin at $2.65. But tensions with Iran and a massive fire that destroyed a Philadelphia oil refinery last week could affect energy supplies and prices. In Madison this morning, you're going to pay an average right around $2.60.
All right, calling all Toys R Us kids. A year after closing U.S. stores, Toys R Us is making a comeback. At least 2 stores will open this year just in time for the holidays, with more store openings slated for 2020. A person familiar with the plan says a former Toys R Us exec is spearheading the revamp after winning the rights to the brand. Toys R Us is still up and running in Europe and Asia, but over 700 stores closed in the U.S. last year.
Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders is set to unveil a plan that would cancel all $1.6 trillion of student loan debt later today. The proposal would cancel undergraduate and graduate debt for around 45 million people. His plan has no eligibility limitations and would be paid for with a new tax on Wall Street. The plan goes further than the plan already unveiled by his Democratic primary rival, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
6:25 right now. There were new threats overnight coming from Iran as tensions between that country and the U.S. continue.
And the AmFam tournament came to a close and crowned a new champion over the weekend. We'll tell you which Madison native came out on top. That's when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Get the
Right now, community members mourn and remember the life of an off-duty officer who gave his life when a gunman threatened a bar.
And Madison is not one of the 10 cities named in these potential ICE raids, but local leaders are reacting. An interview with Police Chief Mike Koval ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Monday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this June 24th. And if you've taken the dog out for this morning, you've probably noticed it is humid.
Definitely don't need a jacket. Hattie already got that note. She's out there on her patio for the first time this year without a jacket.
I think so. A little distracted this morning because I opened the door to the garage and a chipmunk ran in. Sorry, guys.
Better a chipmunk than anything else.
In the newsroom pretty soon. Watch out. You're right. I'm outside without a jacket. It just took higher humidity, really, to make it feel like summer around here. And we definitely had an increase in the humidity over the weekend. Here's a look at Weather Track, which is satellite and radar combined. A lot of clouds in the area this morning, as well as some scattered rain activity that has been developing just over the last 30 minutes. So as you step out the door, might be a good idea to grab that umbrella this morning because numerous showers and even some thunderstorms are in the forecast. Our temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s this morning. It is a very mild and muggy start to the day. Again, rain showers becoming likely later on today. High temperatures will be in the mid 70s. Humidity levels will start to drop tonight, so we'll get a little bit of a break tomorrow. It won't be quite as humid. Here's a look at those first alert traffic maps early this morning. Things have been pretty quiet so far on the roads, and that trend continues right now at 6:30. No accidents to report, which is great news, so travel looking pretty good in and around Dane County. And that's your first alert traffic.
So which chipmunk is it? Is it Alvin or?
Well, I'm not sure. He didn't have a name tag, but update on the chipmunk did run out while I was doing that weather.
So he's safe. He's doing all right.
That's good news. We're all about the good news, Hattie. All right, stay safe out there.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
6:31 your time now. We start this half hour with 3 things you need to know to start your work week. There is a man in the hospital this morning after a fire in Mount Horeb overnight. Just before 9:30 last night, a shed caught fire at the Perry Lutheran Church in town. A man in his 50s who lives nearby went to go check out the fire and suffered significant burns as a result, though he is expected to be okay. We're told the cemetery's utility shed is a total loss. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
New this morning, Iran's naval chief is warning the U.S., saying Tehran is capable of shooting down other American spy drones. This comes after Iran shot down a U.S. drone last week and as tensions continue to rise between the two countries. President Trump announced Sunday that a new set of sanctions would be imposed on Iran as soon as today.
And crews are suspending their diving operations in the search for a missing 11-year-old boy in the Wisconsin River. Adams County Sheriff Brent York says daily water searches for Jamison Miller will continue, but dive teams will not be used. Miller went missing last Tuesday after swimming in the river near the Wisconsin Dells. A vigil was held in his honor last night. All right, to our other headlines this morning. We will not be seeing mass ICE raids in our area, at least not for the next 2 weeks. President Trump delayed a nationwide immigration sweep that would deport people living in the U.S. illegally, giving lawmakers 2 weeks to work out a solution. The deportation raids would target more than 2,000 people who haven't kept up with court hearings, focusing on people with final orders of removal. Now, while Madison is not one of the cities currently on that list for raids, the situation certainly strikes a chord locally.
Last fall, federal immigration officials made 83 arrests across the state, including 20 in Dane County. Only News 3 Now's Keely Arthur is live talking with Madison's police chief to get this take on the situation this morning. Hi, Keely.
Hi, good morning. Well, we've heard from lots of local leaders, including the mayor, city council, even UWPD Police Chief Kristen Roman about this very important topic. Here to speak on this now is Madison's Police Chief Mike Koval. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. And where does the MPD stand on all of this?
Well, we've had a very consistent response dating way back before the Trump administration in that we believe that local control absent any articulated federal immigration policy, which is the case and has been for decades, has to be that community policing interest in public safety comes first. With that in mind, we want to make our services accessible and inclusive. And so it doesn't pay for me to have people that aren't getting service because they might be victims of crime or witnesses to crime. We won't know how our pulse is on good public safety unless everybody is counted in that.
And then talk about the distinction between helping and getting rid of maybe wanted and known criminals versus civil deportation here in our area.
Exactly. We don't have a federally articulated program on civil deportation, so it's a state in flux. Anybody and everyone can agree that with serious criminal offenders, we will assist and assist mightily. As a matter of fact, we have initiated calls at times to ICE when we've had a significant homicide or sexual assault or anything. So it's not a question of identifying those people that are dangerous in our community that should be sequestered from the rest of us trying to go about our everyday lives. But the civil deportation things, that's in a state of flux until there's a federally articulated policy, and those folks are caught between a rock and a hard place, and we want to make sure that they're accessing our services like anyone else.
In last September's raids, law enforcement was left in the dark. There were 83 arrests in the state, 20 in Dane County. What was your frustration with that?
Our frustration is that we thought we had clear lines of communication with ICE and that they would at least give us a 12 to 24 heads up when an operation would begin. Not that we needed to know the scope, not that we needed to know the location or what they were going to do. They have legitimate rights of access like anybody else does. But when they leave a community turned inside out, not telling us what the scope is, if it was going to be civil deportations or criminal or both, or any of those people that are vicariously associated with people that are being civilly deported, that was unfortunate because it meant the whole community was left guessing about what their options were.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you getting up with us this morning. Thanks, Chief.
It's all right. Thank you.
And we spoke with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on this issue. They're defending their decision to leave local law enforcement in the dark, writing in a statement, quote, "Any leak telegraphing sensitive law enforcement operations is egregious and puts our officers' safety in danger." And speaking with Police Chief Mike Koval, he said, even though Madison is not one of the 10 cities named, you never know. So we're certainly going to keep an eye on this issue that could be impacting us locally. Back to you.
Arthur with the exclusive interview this morning. Keely, thank you.
6:36 your time now. 1 week after an off-duty police officer was killed in Racine, there still isn't a suspect in custody. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office has released these enhanced photos of the man they say shot Officer John Hetland during attempted robbery at a bar. The reward for any information leading to an arrest is now at $70,000 this morning. Meanwhile, the Racine community is honoring Officer Hetland's memory with a vigil. From the first words of Amazing Grace last night, there were tears. Kelly Kurdna was there to remember the officer who protected him the night he was killed.
And then all of a sudden, John jumped on the bar, walked down, crawled in the bar, lunged at him. I said, something's going on here. So I said, all my friends said, get on the floor. Get on the floor. We all, a bunch of us crawled in the men's bathroom, and all I heard was gunshot.
Investigators are asking people who live within a half-mile radius of that bar to check their security footage for any clues on who the suspect may be or where he went.
We have a new Anthem tourney champ. Madison native Jerry Kelly held off fellow Madisonian Steve Stricker and Retief Goosen to win the 4th American Family Championship over the weekend. Kelly closed with a 666 at a rainy University Ridge. He's had 4 wins on the 50 and over tour after winning 3 games on the PGA Tour.
The Brewers have today off after winning back-to-back games for the first time in 2 weeks. Brandon Woodruff struck out a career-high 12 batters over 7 innings, and Travis Shaw homered, helping the Brewers beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-5 yesterday. Shaw's home run started a 5-run 3rd inning when Christian Yelich had an RBI double, Mike Moustakas hit a 2-run single, and Orlando Arcia singled home another. The Brewers are back in action tomorrow night at Miller Park against the Seattle Mariners. All right, 6:38 your time now. There is a program offering free food to students in the summer, and it's kicking off today. We're going to tell you when and where coming up.
And a 5th grader in Monroe is proving you're never too young to do something good. We'll share his story when News 3 Now This Morning continues. .641 right now. Time for hashtag MyNews3Morning, and Vicki is bringing us a good one today.
Vicki's a repeat offender. She is always sending just the most gorgeous shots, and this one is no different.
We've been really looking forward to that sunshine too, because I feel like we've had so many rainy days and clouds.
We have. Vicki, thank you so much for waking us up on this Monday with such a gorgeous shot.
If you've got a photo like Vicki's, or if you have another morning photo you'd like to share with us to put on the air, just use the hashtag MyNews3Morning and send them to us over on our social media pages.
All right, starting today, the city of Madison is pairing up with some local organizations to bring free food to students during the summer. Kids under 18 can get free summer meals every Monday through Friday at nearly 3 dozen sites citywide. Locations will serve free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No ID or registration is required. We'll have a link to those meal sites and times up on our website, channel3000.com.
So we've heard it before, one person can make a difference, and that certainly holds true for a 5th grader in Monroe.
We love this story this morning. This right here is Jyshawn Breutzman. He's a 5th grader at Northside Elementary. He watched a video online with his mom one day about a group of students doing something kind for an unsuspecting classmate who flew under the radar. Well, it moved Jyshawn to do something similar at his own school. In a special Do Something Good story, Charlotte DeLeste is going to tell us about the new Kindness Club. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Can't wait to hear Jeshawn's story.
He is a cutie. It's going to be
adorable.
a good one. 6:43 right now. It is going to be feeling hot, hot this week compared to where we've been in recent months. Hattie's tracking a very summer-like forecast coming up after the break.
But first, it's Monday, June 24th. We want to say happy birthday to Louie and all the kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us here on News 3 Now this morning.
Look.
.46 right now on a Monday morning. A lot of clouds out there, a few peaks of sunshine, but it's already feeling pretty mild out there this morning.
Yeah, loving that pink, hoping it's going to grow a little bit, Hads, into some sunshine today.
Unfortunately, I think the clouds are going to rule the area today. You may see some peaks of sunshine here and there, just like yesterday, but it is going to be pretty cloudy with the potential for some rain. It is definitely muggy outside. Let's take a look at the dew points over the last 24 hours, starting in the upper 50s yesterday at this time, but we climbed quickly into the upper 60s for dew points by the middle of the day. So it was quite muggy yesterday. Dew points really have not dropped off much during the overnight hours, so it's still pretty sticky outside this morning. That is why those showers that developed yesterday were some pretty efficient rainmakers. We had about 0.4 of an inch of rain in and around Madison in a short amount of time. You can see though that some spots didn't get any rain through the day yesterday. Those showers were pretty scattered. Now this morning we're already starting to see some development south of Madison with some showers trying to work their way into the area. Expect these showers to become more numerous as we head towards the middle of the day. We're in between two larger areas of precipitation, one to the north north and one to the south. There have been a few lightning strikes noted across northern parts of Iowa. Again, as we go towards the afternoon, those peak heating hours, scattered thunderstorms become more likely here in southern Wisconsin as well. That severe weather outlook does include a slight risk for severe weather for just southern Wisconsin, south central and southeastern Wisconsin. Some of those stronger storms would have the potential to produce some large hail or some strong wind gusts. They will likely also be pretty efficient rainmakers, though. Here's the storm system tracking right across the state with a cold front that'll move through the area today. Now, that front will bring some lower dew points and drier air. Some encouraging news as we look to the west for those dew points. Sioux Falls 53 down to 50 in Bismarck. Dew point dropping to 59 in Minneapolis, so already starting to get a little bit more comfortable there. Still 60s for southern Wisconsin and all of Illinois this morning. So we'll deal with those high dew points through most of the day today. Here's a closer look at those numbers. 66 in Juneau and Watertown, 68 in Janesville, a dew point of 65 here in Madison. Temperatures are in the 60s as well, mid to upper 60s early this morning. Your future track forecast model shows you how the rain develops though as we go through the mid-morning hours. By 10 o'clock, already some pretty widespread shower activity across southern Wisconsin. That'll transition into scattered thunderstorms as we head towards the afternoon and evening. All locations of southern Wisconsin fair game for the shower and thunderstorm activity. It will continue through the evening, but then wind down after dark. As far as rain totals are concerned, pretty highly variable as to where those stronger thunderstorms develop, but you could get a quick half an inch or even a little bit more of rain today. Your extended forecast then, this is a summertime forecast. First full week of summer and right on track. We're into the 80s. We'll get a little break from the humidity tomorrow and Wednesday. The humidity levels will creep up again, though, on Thursday and stay pretty high through the upcoming weekend. Oh. Here's someone chilling in the shade. Bonsai in Milton. What a cute dog.
He'll be sitting under that tree for a couple days. Huh?
I'm going to be under that tree with him.
Yeah.
Make sure, got the tongue out already. Make sure he's got plenty of water.
Yes.
There you go. All right, Hads, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. 6:53, time for the morning sprint as our team gets you out the door with the most local news to start your Monday.
We start with national headlines out of Iran this morning, where that country's naval chief is warning the U.S. it is capable of shooting down other American spy drones. This comes after Iran shot down a U.S. drone last week and as tensions continue to rise between the two countries. President Trump announced Sunday that a new set of sanctions would be imposed on Iran as soon as today.
And President Trump may have called off the raids for at least 2 weeks. And Madison is not one of the 10 cities named, but Madison Police Chief Mike Koval telling us this morning that this city certainly needs to be prepared just in case of future raids. Now, Koval says the police force stands with the immigrant community, noting it's important to draw the distinction between civil deportation and deporting criminals. He says MPD will certainly insist in the removal of criminals who are undocumented. In fact, they alerted immigration enforcement recently after arresting a man for domestic abuse. Again, Madison not one of the 10 cities named, but could be in the future.
Thank you very much, Keely. A man is in the hospital after a fire in Mount Horeb overnight. Just before 9:30 last night, a shed caught fire at the Perry Lutheran Church in that town. A man in his 50s who lives nearby went to go check out the fire and suffered significant burns as a result, though he is expected to be okay. The cause is still under investigation.
Diving operations are being suspended in the search for a missing 11-year-old boy in the Wisconsin River. The Adams County Sheriff said over the weekend that daily water searches for Jamison Miller will continue, but dive teams won't be used. Miller went missing last Tuesday after swimming in the Wisconsin River near Wisconsin Dells. A vigil was held in his honor last night.
It's a very sticky start to this Monday morning. We are seeing some light showers begin to pop up on the radar. Look for this rain activity to become more widespread as we head through the day today. Temperatures will climb to highs in the middle 70s with scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon.
Hattie, thank you. The man convicted in a high-speed crash that killed a man and severely injured his wife while they walked their dog is scheduled to be back in court today for a restitution hearing. 20-year-old Benjamin Cortez was sentenced to 7 years in prison in January after pleading guilty to charges. His restitution hearing is set for 3 this afternoon.
Advocates are on their second day of marching 60 miles for 60%. The group is marching from Palmyra up in Jefferson County all the way to the Capitol. This comes after the Joint Finance Committee cut Governor Evers' education budget for the next school year by $900 million. Those advocates are marching 60 miles to demand a 60% reimbursement of special education costs.
Tonight at the Madison's Board of Education meeting, a group called the Freedom Youth Squad says they plan to show up to protest a new contract for school resource officers. They say they'd rather see the district invest in students of color instead of investing in officers. Tonight's meeting starts at 6 o'clock at Wright Middle School.
The city of Madison is pairing with several public and nonprofit organizations to bring free food to students during the summer. Starting today, children under 18 can get free summer meals at nearly 3 dozen sites citywide. No ID or registration is required. To find those sites and meal times, you can go over to www.mmsd.org/food.
Madison native Jerry Kelly held off fellow Madisonian Steve Stricker and Retief Goosen to win the 4th American Family Insurance Championship. Kelly closed with a 666 in a rainy University Ridge Sunday. He's had 4 wins on the 50 and over tour after winning 3 times on the PGA Tour.
We have a first alert traffic note for you on this Monday near the campus area. Starting today, the westbound stretch of West Dayton Street between South Park and the East Campus Mall will be closed for utility work. That's the block of Dayton between Park Street and the Kohl Center. That closure is expected to last right around 6 weeks.
6:57, let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a final look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. Still moving all right on the Beltline in both directions, although that westbound side is definitely getting crowded between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. To expect delays within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Inbound John Nolan starting to tap the brakes at Rimrock and Olin Avenue as you make your way toward downtown. And other main routes, including the interstate, still moving along at the posted speeds with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic.
Thanks, Josh.
And if today is a pool day for you, not bad this morning, but showers and even a few thunderstorms are possible for the afternoon. We already have cloudy skies here in Madison. Look for those rain chances to increase through the day. Highs will be in the mid-70s, but it's still going to feel rather sticky outside today. That extended forecast, tank top weather, highs in the 80s.
Hattie bringing the heat. Thanks, Hads.
Have a great Monday, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.